Okay, so let's have a look where we're up to so far. We've got a sense going, it's taking in readings. Let's have a quick look at this script. There we go. The readings are coming in. I put my finger on the sensor. We can see there it's able to determine that something's going on. So we're getting different readings coming in on the sensor when I touch it, which is the kind of behaviour that we want to see. Okay, so I'm just going to stop that. What I'm going to do now is look at just manipulating that data in a very kind of basic way. So what I want to do is I want to take out the noise. So these kind of low range numbers, I want to take them out, and I just want to take the higher values. So to do that, first of all, what we want to do is convert our data to an integer if we can. So what I'm going to do is say try. I will try to convert the Microbit data into an integer of itself. So what I'm doing is I'm just making the same variable, and I'm just setting it equal to itself, but converting it into an integer. So it's going to try and do that. If it can't do that, we will then we'll set it to 500 for now. So what that's going to do, if it comes across anything that it, any part of data from the reading from this serial connection, it's going to try and convert it to an integer once it's been cleaned up using the strip, and the decode will turn it into Unicode characters. It'll try and create an integer out of them. If it can't, it will just set that to 500 so that we can use that value in our next part of data, because I'm going to say if Microbit data is greater than 500, then we will execute the following code, which is going to be to print that Microbit data. Okay, I'll just save that and let's have a look at it. Okay, so nothing's happening, and if I touch the sensor, there we can see now it wasn't printing out any of the values below 500, which is the noise, the background noise of the sensor. Okay, so we can see that that's working. I'm just going to stop that, and I'm just going to think about what else I could do. Maybe I want to work out how many beats per minute. So to do that, I will first of all, I'll say beats per minute. So I'm just going to set up a variable, set it to 0. Then I'm going to write a function. It's going to call beats per minute check, and what I will do with that, I want to look at the beats per minute variable So I'll just put that as a global so I can access it outside of the function. And then I want to check it every 60 seconds, and I want to print out the beats per minute, and I also want to say then say beats per minute, and then when that gets called I want to reset my beats per minute to 0. Okay, so that is basically going to be my function. What will I want to do down here then? So print the microbit data, and I need to set up some kind of timer. That each time it writes a bit of microbit data, it'll be able to check how much time has elapsed, and if that time gets above 60, it'll call then this function. So let's set up a variable called last check, and we will equal that to the time, current time. Okay, so that just sets up a variable and it makes it the same as the current time. Then what we will say down here, if microbit data is greater than 500, print the microbit data. Then we will say the current time is equal to the time that it is now, and then we will say if the current time minus the last check. So if that is greater than or equal to 60 seconds, then we will call our function BPM, and then we will say the last check, we'll reset that to the current time, because the current time is now, essentially. So what we're doing when we start running the code, we set this to the current time. Once the difference between the last check and the current time gets past 60, once it's greater to and equal than 60, it will execute this code in here, and then it'll set the last check to the current time, which was defined up here. Okay, the only thing is I don't want to be sat here waiting for 60 seconds, so I'm going to cheat a bit and I'm going to put 10 seconds in there. It's going to execute this function every 10 seconds, so then I will say the beats per minute multiplied by 6. And so every 10 seconds it's going to check how many beats there's been. What we need to do when we write the microbit data, we need to increment the beats per minute by 1. So every time it gets a reading above 500, it's going to increment beats per minute by 1. It's going to print out the current value. Then the current time, is going to be set to whatever time it is. If that current time is greater than or equal to 10 seconds, BPM is going to be called, and then that timer will be set to the current time, and after 10 seconds it will be called again. This is the function up here. It's going to multiply the 10 readings by 6 to give us the beats per minute, and then we're going to reset the BPM back to 0. So this should be reading every 10 seconds of what the beats per minute are. So let's save that and run it. Now I'm not touching the sensor, so okay, got an error here somewhere. Yeah, I've called it's BPM check. That's what I should have named the function. Yeah, BPM check. Okay, let's run that again. So yeah, I'm not expecting to see anything because I'm not touching the sensor. Yeah, 0 beats per minute. Okay, so now I'm touching the sensor. Then after 10 seconds, okay, 90 beats per minute. (132 beats per minute). (138). Okay, so that looks a little bit high. All right. So I've taken my finger off the sensor there. We can see it's, let's just stop that, and what we'll do, we will increase the threshold to, let's say, 550, and we'll save that and we'll run it now. So we can see the entries have slowed somewhat. So 66 beats per minute. (114). We'll take a few readings so we'll get an idea. Okay, 114. Okay, so it's looking a little bit high. So we might just want to increase that threshold again. We might calibrate it by manually checking our pulse or using a medical device to check it. Let's see if we up that to 590. Okay. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to analyze this data. You'll have to come up with your own ways to best use that data to represent what you want. So this might be a little bit of pre-processing before you start writing to a database or something like that. We can see there it's kind of, yeah, 78, 96 beats per minute. That's probably reasonably accurate as to what I would expect. So yeah, just take my finger off there and it stops. Yeah, it's not measuring anything now. It's not logging the noise. So we can see there how we can get the data in. We can cast it to what we can. We see there it's coming at 0 beats per minute because I've taken my finger off the sensor. That'll continue every 10 seconds. We can see little things that we can do with it just in this Python script that collects it. Putting in a function there. So yeah, it'll be up to you to decide what you're going to do with your data, how you're going to treat it, where you're going to treat it. you know, what are you going to write to the database, what are you going to log in the database, what are you going to run on your kind of network device script to clean it up before it gets to the database, things like that. So yeah, there's lots of questions, there's lots of things for you to inquire about and do, but that just gives you the basics of getting a pulse sensor up and working. So you'll have to design then how your system's going to work and what you're going to do with it. Okay, I think that about does it.